Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Seth. In today's video we're going to be reviewing / rating the movie Carolina, Caroline. Now this movie is directed by Adam Ramir and the cast stars Samara Weaving as Caroline and Kyle Gardner as Oliver. Now it's your standard crime heist love story movie in a Bonnie and Clyde-ish way, but there has some deeper meanings and topics that this movie discusses or shows to even. Talking about trauma, exploring the world, and really trying to find yourself, you know. Now, Caroline lives in a small town in Texas, and she works at a gas station that's more smaller based, you know. She's really living the mundane-ish life, and then that's when she meets Oliver, who is a con man. Now, they meet at that gas station and hit it off. And they start going out on dates and becoming a couple, you know, even too. And throughout this movie, Oliver and Caroline will explore the world by robbing places, you know. But that fairy tale won't last forever, you know. They'll go through some obstacles throughout this movie, you know. Now, Oliver has a money system that he does to get some extra money coming in and stealing, you know, I guess from the other people, you know. And, you know, Oliver shows that to Caroline. And throughout this movie, I was trying to figure it out too, you know, and stuff like that. And I kind of get it, but I fully don't understand, I guess, the method he has, you know. But, you know, in a sense, Oliver is a con man. You have to be very confident in what you do and confident in yourself, you know, and you really gotta be a good talker, you know. But it really shows the irony too of, I guess, his plans and his mindset and ideology and how he does things, because there were some things where I was like, okay, kind of seeing a little bit of the irony in it. Like, I'll get into a little bit of that. Is in one of the scenes, Caroline is talking, was like, well, don't you feel bad for robbing and stealing money from these people? And Oliver goes, really? I don't. Because you really gotta think about it, you know. Who are you really taking from? You're not taking from the management that's getting paid hourly, or the employees that are getting paid hourly. You're really taking from the shareholders. And in a sense, yes, you know, if you're dealing with, I think, bigger businesses. Now, I could be completely wrong, and if I am, then I'm wrong, and I'm sorry about that. But how I'm thinking of it is the bigger businesses, yes, you have your shareholders, but here's where the irony comes in. For majority, if not all the movie, they're robbing from small businesses. Small gas stations, small owned stores, which are more likely family owned. Now I can really see on the smaller banks, because that's when you do get investors coming in, and that's more of a, like a small town community, like, based thing, you know. But for majority of it, you're really robbing from small businesses that are family owned and stuff like that. So who are you really taking from, you know? And that's really too what it'll show throughout this movie, that Oliver really is just a terrible person and a straight up just con man. And what do con mans mostly do? They deceive people and stuff like that. And that's how he kind of gets kind of Caroline. Now, I'm not stating that Caroline didn't know what she was getting into. She did know what she was getting into, but I don't think she knew the full implications of what this line of work would provide, I guess, entail and stuff like that. And that's where I think his con man and deceiving irony of it gets into. Now, too, this movie also does show you the implications of what this line of work does. It shows the highs and the lows. The highs being, you know, I guess you can get a lot of money and this will get you the materialistic stuff you want, and the lifestyle you can so live, you know, that, you know, people do. But it also shows the lows, too, of how dangerous this line of work can be, you know. You really gotta be meticulous and very cautious on how you live your life and stuff like that, because, you know, one wrong job, you know, and you're either in the jail for the rest of your life, or you're essentially dead, you know. But I will say, something that I very did like in this movie is the chemistry between Samara Weaving and Kyle Gardner. Them two really have a chemistry together, and throughout this movie too, you'll feel really, I guess, connected to them, you know, because you're going through their life and stuff like that, through the highs and through the lows, you know. But you know, as I say, it is your standard crime heist love story movie, and that doesn't mean it's a bad movie at all, you know, because I really did enjoy this and felt connected, you know, to, and it did have some deeper meanings, but it does have the basic tropes of, okay, we're gonna get to A, then they're gonna get to B, and then they're gonna get to C, and all that stuff, you know. Now, my rating for this movie would be a 3 out of 5, as I said, you know, did enjoy the movie, did feel a little standard, but that doesn't mean that it's bad, because it did have some deeper meanings into it. And yeah, the chemistry between Samara Weaving and Kyle Gardner was great, and yeah, that is my review and rating on this movie. Thank you for watching as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and goodbye!